Should payment systems like cards, UPI, RTGS, NEFT be charged? That's the question we are having following an RBI discussion paper. I've been speaking with Rajneesh Kumar, Akhil Handa, AP Hota and SS Mundra. Gentlemen, thank you for waiting by. Mr. Mundra, that's the next question. I think the majority here want charges. Mr. Hota said that, higher value should be charged above 5,000. Do you think it should be a fixed charge by the regulator or leave it to market, because now you have UPI as the anchor? If that is free by government mandate, why not leave the rest to market?
Okay, Lata, I think let's look at some of the first thing is some of the basic, principle or tenet which should be, and I'm sure RBI will be guided by that. Number one, I don't think that it is for RBI to really go into each component and decide about it. That will be too much of a, I would say, micromanagement. In most of the areas, we have moved to leaving it to the market forces. And I think same would be true here also. What actually has to be, to my mind, three things are important to be kept in view in creating any framework. India is too big a market, so whatever you do, the players will keep on participating. So there won't be a dearth of participation. But if we make it too restrictive, then there will be dearth of innovation. That is point number one. Point number two, as I said, we have a big market and many players, so we should have the confidence that the competition would bring the things to a reasonable level, to a competitive level. And number three, public good is of course very, very important. But the commercial players who are delivering, who are the instrument of delivering this public good, should be fairly compensated, at least to the extent of their cost, if no element profit, let us to begin with. So with that, I would say that most of the things should be like, there is a question whether not only the charges at both the end of user and supplier, but even intermediaries, that is intercharge, etc., should also be decided by RBI. I think that will be too much of going into the detail or doing the micromanagement, because all these players in the ecosystem are the informed players. They have their own system, they have their own risk management. So I think we should have a confidence in their wisdom to settle it out between themselves. Yes, Lata, I'll just, but to my mind, there are at least 3-4 areas and where RBI really need to intervene. And of course, they have mentioned that one of these areas is not within their regulation, but that is one area where there is absolutely no justification. We are putting the theory of digital progress upside down, that is the convenience fee.
Yes.
It really beats me to say that if I am using a digital channel, then I have to give a convenience fee, whereas physical channel there is not required. Yes. I think that is exactly reversing the theory. So this is one area, surcharging is other area. And in credit card, how the element of credit cost is woven into and charge is made for the brevity of time, I would say at least these are the three areas where probably there won't be any harm if the regulation comes out with the specific prescription.
Fair point, sir. But as RBI points out, it is not in their regulation. And I am with you that I didn't like the fact that I had to pay extra for booking a cinema ticket online. I thought I was actually conveniencing the exhibition hall. Mr. Kumar, I think there will be a bigger question on the part of the payment aggregators. Payment gateways are per force free. They can't do much about it. How should RBI approach the payment aggregators?
No, they are part of the payment ecosystem. So the fee will come either from the remitter or will come from the recipient, which is the merchant.
Yes.
So so MDR gets shared, and as far as payment aggregator are concerned, they are intermediaries and they are providing service to the bank. And there will be an arrangement between the bank and the payment aggregators. So they also have invested money, and that would be a fee sharing arrangement if there is a fee. If there is no fee, then from where to get the money? And if it is to come from other activities, then the only thing which is around lending. So then you help in creating the loan book for the banks and then
Get a
share
fee.
the revenue. But I think the ecosystem, I have already made my view clear
Yes.
that there should be some user fee.
Okay.
It should be market determined, but RBI at the same time has certain responsibility. One is absolutely about the stability and security of the financial system. Second is protecting the consumers against any unfair practice.
Fair enough.
So
Fair
there, at least if they want to cap or put somewhere that let it be market determined, but with some cap.
Okay.
Even that is
Fair
a workable.
point. So largely market with RBI stepping in for
If
any
there's
usurious,
any unfair
any
all
profiteering.
charges are exorbitant, and credit card, in my view, it is working fine. There's no need to touch it.
Yeah, no.
And if it is
the
RTGS,
only
then-
point was a lot of us pay in advance. So, we don't get brownie points for that. The RBI paper makes that point. Actually, I must appreciate that the RBI paper, as Mr. Mundra said, doesn't take a position. They've put questions on everything. So everything is up for answers. Mr. Hota, the question to you is, you said that up to 5,000, everything should be free. But, free does not entice the merchant to come in. In fact, when RuPay was made free, I know former NPCIL officials were a little worried about it because they thought then merchants will not push or accept RuPay payments. They may prefer other cards. So do you think RuPay, of course, afterwards the government reimbursed, but do you think free is a good idea? Should RuPay be free at all?
How the aggregator would charge to their merchant clients for publishing their value, processing, collecting the money, and making the payment to their consolidated bank account, that is a separate business altogether.
Got it.
But at a national payment system level, these charges, except for credit cards, should continue to be determined by central bank. We have seen for ATM charges,
yes,
RBI asked the banks to come together and fix a rate.
Yeah.
It went on for about close to about 4-5 years.
I remember
Then
that.
RBI determined, and okay, this is the level.
Yeah.
You are coming to this level.
I take
In
your
fact,
point, sir.
Because in the payment system, there are some players which are very strong. They're issuing banks, and some are acquiring banks.
That's right.
Issuing bank would like to have more, and acquiring banks also would like to have their more.
I agree.
So
I
with
agree.
balancing these two, it is only the regulator who can balance.
Yeah.
In
No,
the
I agree.
credit card
Sir,
system,
I
because it is based on the credit evaluation, let it be totally determined. And I will go to the extent that I will not apply the 5,000 rules over there also. Credit card, let it be totally free. It is out of the pricing whole gamut.
Actually,
But
Mr.
for
Hota,
debit card and the
Mr. Hota,
entire
I'm
digital
running out of time.
ecosystem should be part of it.
Sir, I'm sorry. We're running out of time. Akhil,
Absolutely.
I think a large part has been covered. Anything you want to add?
Just one point I wanted to make is, while we brush all the payment systems with the same, brush, they're not nearly the same. And RTGS is a very high value transactions payment, and it is largely done by corporates, right? And it's very low volume, but it's very high value.
Yes.
Whereas everything else, be it a debit card or a UPI, that's on the retail side of the spectrum. There could be a case to be made to say that, look, if we want to subvent the retail payment system, why don't we start charging the corporate payment system, which is RTGS, right? And RTGS is about 60 to 70% by value of the payments that are settled in the country. So why can't we start charging for RTGS? And then, we'll be able to provide a much better service and, be able to spend a lot more, invest a lot more in growing the retail payment ecosystem.
Got it, Akhil. Akhil, that's plenty of points and very little time. Thank you very much, Mr. Mundra, Akhil, Mr. Hota and Rajneesh Kumar. I will not try to summarize. I'll merely send the transcript to RBI as a set of recommendations from the best in the field. Thank you very much for watching this edition of Indianomics.